On this incredible adventure. It's going to be so cool. So this is just the first stop. We're headed out to Uvac Canyon. I think I picked a spot where we're not going to have to hike much to get out there because it's a long travel day. Tonight, the plan is we're going to be out in Plav, which is like a city out in the base of the mountains in southeast Montenegro. Montenegro, in my book, one of the prettiest countries in Europe. I'm so excited to explore that corner of the country. It's honestly the only corner of Montenegro that we haven't spent time in. We spent a few nights up in Durmitor National Park a few years ago. We've driven all over that country. I guess there's some cities and a lot of beach areas that we haven't been to. Overall, incredibly dense, beautiful country, and I'm super stoked to get up in the mountains there. So this is just stage one of this incredible adventure, summer 2025. Let's go check out Uvac Canyon. It's supposed to be one of the prettiest places in all of Serbia, and oh man, just to walk out here does not disappoint. This looks rad. Let's go see what it's all about. One of my favorite things about road trips is that Lily comes with us. She is such a precious doggie. And this canyon is gorgeous. Even before you get to the river, it's really beautiful country with these big rolling hills, like greenery but exposed rocks. Then you begin to get these glimpses of the river that are just incredible. These massive U-bends are so beautiful. So this back here is what Uvac Canyon is famous for. It's like this big snaking river that's just cut out this amazing canyon in the middle of western Serbia. It's super beautiful. Let's head down the hill and see if we can get a little bit of a better view before we keep moving on towards Montenegro. So in this spot here, I did get the drone up in the sky. This is the first time ever that Lily actually caught the drone. For me, it was a little bit terrifying, but DJI drones are incredible. So everything turned out to be perfectly fine. I got Lily tied up, and check out this footage. So this river is pretty mind-blowing. You can see like the color is so incredible, that deep green. I'm sure it has to do with like minerals and bedrock that melts into it and whatever. You can see there's like little outposts like that shed right there on the river. There's also some boats that go down the river that you can hire. There are these massive caves that look really incredible. I don't know if it's possible really to explore them, but I'm super in. It sounds like time well spent if you can. But when I have the chance to come back, my plan is to just be hiking on these trails above the river. I don't think you could get tired of these views. Just this incredible canyon snaking back and forth. The greenery is beautiful, the river itself is gorgeous, the bedrock is great, and it's exposed in so many places. And as always, I'm sure the highlight would end up being the people that you meet along the way. Wow, this place is incredibly beautiful. I could definitely see spending a few days here. Some really decent trails, it feels like, all along the outside. There's a ferry you can take and go down the river. I haven't looked it up, but it looks clean, like it's very swimmable, which would be super fun. It looks like there's some caves on the inlets. I would love to come back here and spend some more time. There's a little lookout there, so we're gonna go hit up that spot, maybe take some pictures, and then for us for today, it's gonna be time to move on. But Uvac Canyon, absolutely worth some time. We'll definitely be back. While we head over to this viewpoint, another thing I'd love to show you is the driving down here from Belgrade. Really gorgeous. Also, very fun to drive in Serbia. But you better be ready, people drive fast. So northern Serbia is super flat and straight, and there's some beauty to it. I don't mean to trash on it. It's a little bit of a step back in time. Some beautiful farmland, but the first thing you know when you drive south from Belgrade, even when you're still on the highway, you enter this slalom a little bit, and you're entering some tunnels. The hills are beautiful. They're super, super different than the north end of the country. In my book, the north end of the country is beautiful for architecture, and if you'd like to see some of the best, check out this video. But the south end of the country, we're headed for nature and something different. And then, as with any decent drive, you get off of the highway onto these little roads with no guardrails. In some places, you have these beautiful views out into the hills and down these valleys. And then a lot of the views are obstructed by like forest and dense foliage. It's beautiful. It's also windy and super fun as long as you have no one in front of you. To be clear, you should be very careful. Like out rurally in Serbia, it's really unlikely that you'll actually run into a speed trap or get pulled over, but there are real dangers. For example, later on here, you're going to see it is possible that you'll see livestock on the road. Just be careful. I love that it seems like every single little town you run into, you're going to hit a monument in a roundabout. Sometimes they're to like wildlife like wolves and whatever, and sometimes they're to something more human. I don't know. It's just super fun, really cool. It tells a lot about the culture of an area. I love when things are painted like the Serbian flag. It is hard to beat red, white, and blue. Such beautiful color scheme, especially on a flag. I absolutely love it. There's so many countries I've seen with this color scheme, and I really believe you can never go wrong. That's not just me as an American, it's me as a person who appreciates color. I honestly super love the drive down, but now back to Uvac Canyon. It's so beautiful, and like I was saying before, there are trails everywhere, so you can just kind of walk around anywhere. But if you find the right spots with these lookouts, this is definitely the thing to do. As I follow Lily down, you can see how beautiful this area is. She had a little another buddy to run around with, and I met some other people, so here I'm like chilling, talking with them on the trail. And then look at this reveal. You come up into this little lookout, and it's in this perfect spot, like right out on a precipice over the top of these incredible, crazy river bends. I'm sure there are other places like this in the world, but I have never seen one. And I've traveled pretty decently. I feel like I've done pretty well. It's the color of the water and how easy and accessible everything is, and the trails are beautiful, and the sun is bright, and the foliage is nice, and it's like this protected wilderness area. It's all the things. It's wonderful. What I didn't expect when you get there, and I had read about the bird watching here, but I didn't know, it's like you show up any time of day and there's all these predators circling, and it's hard to tell here. These are huge birds. It's so awesome to see, and they move around. Like, it's hard to keep them in frame even because they're moving over time, but it's so beautiful. It is awesome to just sit and watch them. I could totally see spending some time here, and if you're a bird watcher, this to me seems amazing. Well, we've just about made it back to the car. So next stop on the way to Gušinje. It's a little town just outside of Plav. Plav is kind of the bigger city. Tonight, probably arriving just to go to bed, but very excited tomorrow morning to be hitting the trails. Let's get Lily some dinner, some water. 3 more hours and we'll be there. And driving southwest out of this southwest corner of Serbia is so beautiful. It's all these rolling hills and the greenery mixed with farmland. These roads kind of slalom back and forth. It's so pretty. I really, really loved it. One of the things I didn't expect is that every little town you come through has a little minaret. Obviously I knew when we get to Albania we'll be entering Muslim country, but I didn't realize this corner of Serbia and Montenegro also have a few mosques in every little town. Some of them are really impressive and very, very cool to see. And just like I was saying, another little town, another minaret. Super, super pretty driving, really fun. It's right about here in the southwest that you have to start watching out for livestock on the road. I could not believe on this road trip how often I saw cows on the road. Even driving up in the mountains, cows, sheep, sometimes with a shepherd nearby. You just definitely have to watch out. And here we go, another little town, another minaret. One of the things I learned following Google Maps on this trip is that especially when you get near a border, you have to really be careful if it sends you onto a dirt road. Turns out on the Montenegro side of the border, there was this massive traffic jam in the middle of this little town. So Google Maps was trying to save me time, but it was going to send me on this dirt road over the border, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a border crossing, which is a serious problem because I need a stamp in my passport to be legal. All that said, I'll give a dirt road a go. It's definitely much more pretty driving, even if the roads are harsh. But if I'm on a dirt road for 5 or 10 minutes, I'm probably going to turn around and go find the pavement. Sometimes I'm really impressed when you cross a border and you realize if there wasn't a place here that I had to stop and talk to the guy, I honestly would have had no clue where the border was. And here's that traffic jam I was talking about. Luckily, I realized I could just kind of pull through this gas station. I don't know if it's totally legal, but it definitely saved me a ton of time. On the road just a couple minutes out of town, and we hit this huge herd of sheep. Super, super fun, but you gotta be careful. And in this region, on the Montenegro side, doesn't change at all. Another town, another minaret. And here's some cows on the road. This guy decided to just wander across. So I've found some very pretty driving in Serbia, but honestly, some of the prettiest driving I've seen anywhere in Europe is in Montenegro. This road that I was on kind of winds around this river valley, but it's up kind of in the foothills, so you follow the arms of the mountain. So you kind of dip in the mountain and make a big left turn, and then you come out and you get these big wide open views over the river valley, and it just goes again and again and again on repeat. Super pretty, but you can see the sun's starting to get a little low. I was a little worried about it. I knew that I did not want to be on the road at dark. And at this point on the horizon, you can begin to see we're about to step out of the foothills and into the mountains. Super exciting. Lily and I rolled in too late last night, so there wasn't enough light to really see any of this at all. But this is beautiful, right here on Lake Plav, just outside of the town of Plav. Last night there was a bunch of festivities going on, so I think we'll head up there tonight. Maybe get a bite to eat tonight up at whatever that little thing in the center of town is. But it's a great little spot. We set up our little tent. This is home for the next couple days. Pretty perfect. She's waiting in the car because she keeps getting into trouble with this guy. Yeah, aren't you trouble? Yeah, you want her to come play. I know. Super fun little campsite. I'm pretty stoked about it. For €8 a night, not bad. They've got showers, toilets, full bathroom, everything you need. And I'm the only one here, so I don't have to share any of it. I like that. But the real reason we're here is to get out on those trails. I think they're going to be right out there in those mountains, at the end of the valley. Super stoked. Let's go do it. So So this is the little town of Gušinje, which is super cute little town. This is where I planned on staying last night. It was just a little too late at night, so I camped out at Plav because I was losing the light. All right, we made it to the trailhead. This is looking pretty great. We're headed right up that mountain valley back there. It's gonna be gorgeous. And clearly, this is where we should have been camping, really. But I guess we rolled into town super late, so we weren't making it this far anyway. And it would have been hard maybe to charge stuff and whatever, but there's this like little restaurant back here. I'm willing to bet they would have let us plug stuff in and would have been just fine. This valley is very pretty. So just before we head out, it sounds like there's a waterfall over there. Let's go check that out and hit the trail. Well, I guess some very pretty little granite rock formation, obviously made from the waterfall carving it out, but it seems like maybe there's just not enough water right now to see it. So it goes. Let's go hit that trail, head up that valley, see what kind of mountain views we can get today. The more I hike on trails in the Balkans, the more used to it I've gotten that they usually start on roads. But at least this road is super pretty because it's like this farmland with these little rock fences around the cows. And even though we're like just approaching the mountains, we're already kind of in the middle of this valley. I love the cowbells. And apparently the trail markers look like the Latvian flag, which is fun. These three people on bikes were super cool. We were all paying to go into the national park at the same time. I just heard them talking. I was like, so you guys are Latvians? And they were like, that's crazy that you recognize Latvian way down here. I was like, yeah, well, we lived there for 6 years. A super cool connection. Janis, Renis, and Ruta. Super cool people. I was really glad to meet them. And at first I thought they were super smart to be doing the whole Peaks of the Balkans on bikes. But as we talked about it, I think they're right. It would be really tough going because a lot of the sections of the trail are really steep. And finally we get off the road onto this little trail. It's really pretty. I like the rocks and the exposed bedrock at some places, but the dirt was also really soft, so it was nice. Then whenever you pop out of the trees, those mountains are so gorgeous. Big granite rock faces. It's hard to beat that. This big valley was definitely the highlight of the day for as far as I got. I know if you keep going up this way, you cross over into Valbona National Park, which is supposed to be super gorgeous. Cool to see. So this is the whole Peaks of the Balkans trail, and we're down in this bottom left corner down here, and these are kind of all of the sections that I'm going to do. So today I'm hiking on the Montenegro side, but I'm going to get up into Albania, and then in a couple days I'm headed over into Albania. I'm going to be going up from Theth towards Valbona. From what I've read, it's supposed to be some of the prettiest sections of the trail. Should be super fun. Man, I do not get tired of this. It is so beautiful out here. And the hiking is honestly pretty easy. At least the trailblazing is. I would say like, yeah, you want to be decently fit for sure. But I'm moving pretty quickly. So I think even if you were a fairly novice hiker, you could probably do this, to be honest. The trailblazing is super easy, which makes sense when you get in this big valley like this and you realize all roads lead to Rome, you know. It's, yeah, maybe I've hit like 3 or 4 times the trail split, and some of them are like the road goes one way and the trail goes another and whatever. Turns out they join up. It's just a couple hundred meters and they join up again. So from what I've seen so far, trailblazing is super easy. You definitely want to be prepared. You want to have the right equipment. I'm wearing my like Barefoot trail sandals. They're the Xero Z Trail, I think they're called, because the straps make a Z, and they are perfect. They're really great. but you definitely want a trail shoe. You don't really need a heavy boot, but there's some granite bedrock. So I think if you're doing the whole peaks of the Balkans, a heavy boot for granite might be smart. Overall, I would just say this is a pretty high payoff for not a ton of work. So let me tell you about Xero shoes for a little bit, because honestly, I really love this company, and Barefoot shoes changed my life. I love Xero shoes. Barefoot shoes honestly changed my life, and if you're interested in the whole story, I'll link it up in the corner. Xero has an awesome range of Barefoot shoes at what I think is the best price point in the market. And on the trail, they are a game changer for weight, for ease, and just for pure enjoyment. Here's the deal. Every mile you hike on the trail, your feet actually travel 2 miles. I mean, if each shoe weighs 1 pound and you're carrying 2 shoes and they're traveling twice as far, we're talking about 4 pounds on your feet. All that said, most sneakers are around 2 pounds and most boots are often close to 3 pounds. So we're talking about 8 pounds on your feet that you're bringing on the trail. Like before you talk about water and pack weight and everything. Well, by comparison, if you just look, Barefoot shoes cut out almost all of that weight. And then there's water crossings. If you consider boots like this, you're gonna stop, take off your boots, take off your socks, cross the water, sit down, clean your feet, put on your boots, and then carry on. One of the things I learned in Barefoot shoes is I'm just gonna crash right through, and in a half mile, my feet are dry. Maybe the biggest change with Barefoot shoes is that I'm actually aware of where my feet step on the trail. I used to chase like that big scenery, so I'd just try to smash out trail miles and get to those big views. But now in Barefoot shoes, I actually pay attention to the travel, like roots, rocks, foliage, pine cones. And I know it sounds crazy, but I actually enjoy the trail so much more this way. It means rather than just speeding for the high ground, I enjoy every step on the trail. Xero has an awesome selection of trail shoes and sandals, and you can check them out in the link in the description. And if you use my affiliate link below, it really helps me out, and I know you'll enjoy them just as much as I do. Thanks, let's get back to the trail. Yeah, overall, I would say super easy hiking and really beautiful country. I've only met a few people. What I'm saying is, not that many people out. Beautiful country. You get to be all alone with very little work. I'm digging it. Peaks of the Balkans, winter. Here we are, the border. Right now I'm in Montenegro, and right now, Albania. Super fun. So of course it's just the angle on the mountains, but the Albania side of the border, oh man, it's much prettier. And don't get me wrong, I really love Montenegro. Spent a decent bit of time in the mountains in Montenegro, taking some chairlifts up to the top of some really beautiful places. But this, for the mountains that I've seen in the Balkans, this is next level. Some sections of this trail super remind me of the Pacific Northwest. I feel like I've hiked thousands of miles exactly like this. Well, this valley is incredibly gorgeous. We've been out a few hours, take us a few hours to get out, so I think it's about time we're gonna turn around. However, right near the entrance to the national park, I saw there's a little swimming hole. So maybe we're gonna head out and go for a little swim, and then check out those festivities tonight in Plav. It's gonna be awesome. Well, we did not make it to the swimming hole because someone got into something gross, and she had a gross, dirty mouth, didn't she? Yeah. but we came back and cleaned up, so both of us had some nice showers, nice and clean. We're back here at camp here in Plav. It's a beautiful spot. Right over there is the lake, kind of surrounded by mountains a little bit. Those mountains way out in the distance are where we were today. It was super beautiful. There are a couple towns that are closer to the trailhead that we would have stayed at if we rolled into town earlier, but it was dark, so we rolled up here. Those other little towns, I don't think have that much going on. But last night, there were some festivities in the middle of Plav, so I'm excited to go check it out and see. Tonight's Friday night, so I hope they're going on. Let's go check it out. I dig that in this part of the world, even like hotels and stuff just have very different architecture. It's rad. And I guess this might be what it looks like when they're building stuff like this. It's so different than anything I've seen before. Here's a better view of Lake Plav. So pretty. So last night when I arrived, this street behind me was hopping, but I'm excited because I think it's gonna be going off again tonight. It looks like there's a music stage set up. People are setting up. There's gonna be like the streets closed down. If you can see over here, the police have got it closed off. I think it's gonna be something cool. So Friday night out here in Plav, Montenegro. Let's see what's up. I guess I'll just sit down and maybe have a drink or a bite to eat for a little bit. Hopefully by the time I finish. Last night when I got in, it was like after sunset, but maybe like 8 or a little, I don't know, around there, 8:30, something like that. So hopefully it's pretty soon. Fun times. Things here in the center of Plav obviously did pick up. This town is adorable. I dig it. And early to bed, early to rise kind of guy. So I'm heading back. There's obviously going to be music. This looks so legit. It looks really fun. I would love to hang out here a little more. Super cool spot. Great food. Good places for drinks. It's like culturally a very Muslim area, so it's a little bit hard to find beers outside the supermarket. But super rad. I like it here a lot. In the morning, we're headed across into Albania. It's going to be rad. So if you're interested in seeing what those Albanian mountains look like, what some of those towns, that culture, maybe a little different food, I have no idea. I've never been there before. You're going to have to check it out next week.